Hackmania.com, promo code WATP. We're going to be in Las Vegas May 9th through 11th. I'll be there May 8th. Come down a day early. Hang out with us. We're going to have a blast. Live podcasts. Maybe Nick or Kato will be there. We don't know. But come down. Check out Hackmania.com for more information.
Who are these podcasts? WATP.
The big news, I don't know if we've talked about it on this show, but I know that Shuli has announced it, and I think he's even played some clips of season 2 of the Kate Meany, John Melendez telephone tapes. So apparently they struck up a relationship again because John gives such a good phone. And Kate was recording yet again. And John had all this trust in her for some reason, even though he tried to get her arrested with the FBI, told on her to her mom and her grandma, bothered her mom on the phone. He bothers other people's parents on the phone, as we're going to see in just a minute. So I'm not surprised that Kate was ready to stick it to John again, if that is the case. Or maybe it's all AI. Who knows? I guess you have to go to DabbleCon 3 to find out. So I want to start off now. Pat, you did join the show. I'm going to start before you were on, but I do have some clips with you on there as well. And again, I'm not asking you to trash your friend John. Make any observations you care to make here, but you do have some insider knowledge.
I mean, what difference does it make? I mean, he's history. He's finished.
Well, right. So I'm glad you have that attitude. Also, just so you know, all you have to do is be on the show, and you've already trashed him. Because that's what happened with Adam Bush. Is he's just like he's going on all the shows and trashing me, and Adam Bush has never trashed John. One time he's just making...
That's true. I only got one side of that story, and I totally believed it.
Well, this is the thing. John doesn't know what trashing someone means. Oh. So Adam Bush will come on and make brilliant observations about John and what's going on in his life and with his show. And John doesn't listen. He doesn't care to actually get feedback. So he just goes, they're trashing me. Okay,
if you're not complimenting him, you're trashing him.
Right. Yes, I think that's true.
You don't even have to trash him or be on the show. If someone he knows tells him that, he'll think
that's
you're trashing
true as
him
well.
too.
Yes, good point.
Okay.
Because Adam Bush, this is an interesting backstory. Okay. You wouldn't know this either, probably, Pat. But Adam Bush, the first time he was on John's show, he goes, John, I love the Dabbleverse. I listen to all the shows. John's like, you like Shuli's shows? Yeah, I love Shuli's show. You like Carl's show? Yeah, I love Carl's show. Do you watch those shows? Yeah, I watch all the shows. He even watches Potato Soup. That's how deep he goes. And John even said, well, you can go on other shows. Whatever. If you're a fan of this stuff. He didn't have a problem with it. Until just recently, for some reason, he's had a huge problem with it. Speaking of Potato Soup, what's up, Cardiff?
What the fuck was that, Carl?
I saw you on there. I saw you
I worked on something special for you. I might not even give it to you now.
Oh, come on.
Give it to me.
Don't be like that.
Ready?
Yep.
That's pretty close.
I got it.
Okay, you have to send me the, I was going to say the notes, but I don't know if that's possible.
Well, there's a strange tuning required as well.
I don't think Pat can play it on the piano. Let's put it that way.
It's a friggin' it's a parody chord.
Oh, that's not bad. That's pretty close.
A parody chord. That's a fantastic way to surmise that note.
All right, so John starts off his show, and he doesn't want people sending deliveries to his house during his final show.
Oh, by the way, there's a sign out there. No deliveries. If you come past, if you knock on the door, you ring the doorbell. It ain't going to be good.
I'll belch in your face.
So my question to all of you is, who is he threatening right now? Does he think
He's
the delivery drivers
delivery people?
Do you think the delivery people are watching the show like, oh, turn around, never mind, he's gonna beat me up.
Dodge a bullet there.
And I was gonna say, I don't know if John understands this or not. He doesn't. When he makes declarations like this early in the show, because I have signs out that say no deliveries, what VTM does is he puts in the Uber Eats app. There's gonna be signs out front, but ignore those. He definitely wants this delivery. It's for these other things that are coming through. Like, he'll put in there specifically to ignore the signs.
Tell him you're a fan.
Yeah, tell him you're a fan.
Yeah.
He'll be like, my uncle's a huge celebrity.
He went Home Alone style. He put some tar on the door. Some feathers fell after they knocked. So now they have...
He heated up the handle so when they held it real long.
Uh-huh.
All right, so this is... He cracks up in his first beer.
I went shopping. Let me see if this is really bad. Fuck it. I don't know.
He's smelling it.
Sitting in my fridge should be okay.
Most people smell
Hope they're
before.
all not going to taste weird. After a few beers, I won't even notice.
What a pro.
Now,
Yeah.
if I were to open up a beverage and I tasted it, it tasted bad,
Yeah.
I would dump it out, try a different one, or call it a day. That never even occurs to John. He just goes, oh, wow, whatever. I'll get drunk enough. I won't even be able to taste it anymore. It'll be fine.
I'll puke it out.
Didn't he eat the old meat or cheese or
The vegetable, the vegetable tray.
Yeah, vegetable tray.
Do vegetables go bad? Was the question he asked his co-host.
Do vegetables go bad?
What do you think about that, Pat? Do vegetables go bad?
I've never eaten one. I don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. I'm asking the wrong guy. I like when, I don't have this clip, but at one point a super chatter comes up and they're just like, John's chugging energy drinks and then beer. And they're like, John, that's not good for your heart. You've had a couple strokes. And Pat's down there going, your heart can handle it. Just rub some dirt on it. You'll be fine. Pat gives the worst medical advice ever.
If your heart can't handle like an energy drink and some alcohol, like what's the point?
Right. If you can't do that for 40 years straight, then what even is the point?
You don't deserve to live then.
How does he do this often? I thought it was just a New Year's Eve thing.
Oh, yeah. This is every day. He chugs energy drinks and then goes right into beer.
You think there was a chance that case of beer he bought before he left for New York, and it's been sitting in his trunk for like 3 weeks in the Florida sun?
Yeah, there's a real good chance that's the case. Yes, of course.
Just checking.
Now,
It's like a weird reverse Smokey and the Bandit thing. He's got a case sitting in his trunk.
John gets back from New York a couple of days ago. And of course, he left his cats there for 2 weeks. Now, I thought that he had Bob Sativa watching the house or one of his buddies down there watching the house, but maybe not.
Got some cleaning supplies because I had to clean my litter. Got to get the kitty litter. I fucking scrubbed the fucking floors with fucking soap and on my knees with the fucking cat shit and cat litter sticking everywhere. Fucking scrubbing it, fucking sweeping. Then I'm out there in the fucking lawn, fucking scrubbing it with bleach, fucking cleaning all that cat shit. Whole place smell like cat shit.
Dude, these cats have destroyed his new house.
Good. He deserves it.
No, I agree with you, but think about that nightmare scenario. Like, John doesn't clean.
No, I thought he had a cleaner.
There was so much shit on the floor. Oh, that's a good point. Maybe the cleaner comes went, no, I'm not doing this.
Also good.
Because he was already home for a day or two, and then he finally, this day, decided he needed to clean up.
Enough's enough.
He's walking on cat shit. And think about that.
There's a parody song.
Walking on cat shit. but think about that right there. If the cats are shitting everywhere,
Yeah.
what else are they doing? Or they must be pissing on his pillow.
Poisoning his
Waiting for
beer.
him
Oh, yeah.
They poisoned his beer. They're probably shitting in the beer and then closing it back up, taping it so he can't tell.
Oh, my God.
What a nightmare this is.
For the cats.
Yeah, for the
right.
cats.
Yeah.
How is he
yeah.
not having people watch his cats after he already had the Humane Society or ever show up to his house? And so he had to get this paperwork done. He had to pay a fine or something like that because of how these. And then immediately after that, he leaves the cats for 2 weeks and just shit up the house.
Who gets this angry about having to change cat litter or scrub out the box or something? Like this squinty, angry John. I have not seen this before. I don't like this character.
Oh, you think that he's talking about litter boxes? I think he's talking about his floors.
Oh, just the whole floor. Okay,
I think there's shit all over the
box.
floor. Yeah, a litter box,
God.
you can throw it
All
away
right.
and get a new one if it's too
Right.
bad.
That's well, most people can.
Yeah, Carl.
We're all right, yes. I wouldn't. That's what Mrs. Hamburger does. Not in charge of that. All right, so this is the moment everyone's talking about. John decides to go out with a big bang. He's got this whole idea, this plan that he's going to do for his last show.
Hello. Yeah, is this Mr. Egar?
Why do you want to know?
Because my name is Stuttering John Melendez. I'm a celebrity, and your son, Shuli, has been harassing me. You're on a recorded line. I'm live right now. He sends people to record me at clubs. He goofs on my 87-year-old mother, saying that like guys on his show is having sex with my mother.
What is happening?
Is this Mr. Weyer?
What is going on?
Your son's shit. So this is what I always say about John. This is what sums up all of his behavior. Just remember that John never progressed past the age of 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. This is the exact same thing as being over at a friend's house, playing outside. Your friend swears and you run inside and go, "Oh, Billy just said a swear. Billy just said a swear," trying to get your friend in trouble. Like, what are you doing? Why are you calling his parents?
How would this even cross the mind of anyone over 10 years old?
That's what I mean. Remember, he called
It's
Kate
crazy.
Meany's mom to try to get her in trouble. And then when that didn't work, he blasted Kate Meany's mom and said that she was a horrible mom. It's like, Kate Meany's an adult.
He doesn't know what a bad look is.
No, he doesn't know embarrassment. He doesn't know what a bad look is. But
He's advertising it.
I'm more offended by this on a showbiz level, Carl.
yeah,
He finally has a good bit. He blows it in the first 5 minutes and then does 4 hours of nothing. No offense, Pat. 4 hours of nothing. The rest of the stream.
I don't know if this is a good bit, but it is being talked about.
He's come up with.
It is being talked about for sure. I like that he also said, he goes, "Oh, by the way, you're being recorded." So if you are recording someone else and you're worried about two-party consent, you have to get consent.
Right.
You not just tell them that, by
Yeah.
the way, I'm robbing you right now, so you can't arrest me because I'm telling you I'm robbing you. But this is just a little bit more from the call. And it's Mr. Egar is the all-star. I mean, he might win Dabbler of the Year
He asks the hard-hitting
in
questions.
2025.
Who is this?
You know the name?
John Melendez. I was the announcer for the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. I've never been arrested. I have a college degree. I'm very successful. I'm rich. I'm intelligent. I got smart kids. And your son and his show harass me every day. I filed a report with the Cape Coral Police, and he keeps on going. Now he's sending people to tape me at bars, and like he's goofing on my 87-year-old mother and saying that they're having sex with my mother. This is your son, Shuli.
Tell me something. Why you?
Huh?
Why you calling me?
Because you're his father. Maybe you could talk some sense into him.
Oh, that is my favorite right there. So he starts right off with his credits.
Yeah.
So he has to explain that he's on the Tonight Show. He's never been arrested. The credits change a little bit based on what who he's talking to, what he's talking about.
I mean, Jesus Christ. I thought he was going to get to that. Not so much to brag about.
I know he didn't talk about writing for the Howard Stern Show. And some people say I was just a call screener, but actually I contributed in a lot of different ways to that show. Let me tell you, Mr. Egar, one of my favorite bits when I talked to Ringo Starr. Maybe you saw it.
Really, it all begins in the 4th grade. How much time you got?
All right, so Mr. Egar plays that perfectly. Like, why are you calling me? Why are you telling me this? What do I have to do with anything? Because Shuli's an adult man. I think he's close to 50 years old. Like his dad doesn't have any control over what he does anymore. But I love the way this call ends.
Okay.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you, Mr. Egar.
Happy New Year.
Same to you, sir. Okay, shitway. Now, you've harassed my mother.
Okay, that's actually not true, but we'll get into that. I love that. All right, Happy New Year. Your son's the worst person ever. Talk some sense into him. Happy New Year.
This is crazy. He's really proud of himself. Like he really thinks he did something with that phone call other than embarrass himself.
Yeah.
What-
I mean, like a 30-second conversation with Count Chocula, and he's like,
How'd you fix that mic?
So what's more embarrassing, this call or the Trump call? Because both failed miserably.
Immediately, too.
Right. What do you think, Cardiff?
I don't know, because this is playing all the hits. Like I would think that this was a bit that he was doing, because him just listing his credits and him saying that he has money and he's a great father. Like there's so much about this where if I gave him more credit, I'd be like, this is actually hilarious that he's finally just like leaned into it. And this is his big send off. So I don't know what to think of this. This is better than the Trump call, definitely, though.
Yeah, the Trump call definitely wasn't a goof. He was genuinely mad at Donald Jr.
Right.
Trump would intervene.
Okay, so he's going to go on to explain that he told his mom how Shuli and the Uncle Rico show were harassing her.
I go, Ma, they were. She goes, wait a second, they're using my image? I go, yeah. She goes, can I sue them? I said, probably. Well, what are they doing with my picture? Oh, they got you with handcuffs, KY jelly, video fucking machines, saying they're having sex with you. She goes, you gotta be kidding me. I said, no, but I'm calling this asshole's father today.
All right, a couple things here. So, A, this conversation didn't happen. We'll explain why that's true. No, that's ridiculous. So, this hasn't been happening.
We don't all scream KY jelly at our mothers?
I don't, personally.
Oh, okay.
They
All right.
haven't,
Not if we're not cooking.
they haven't done this since like July, when John got that attorney involved, and I talked to him, and Bob Levy talked to him, and Shuli talked to him. And the whole point was like, leave family out of this. And they stopped doing that bit of John's mom dating Mike Morse and all that kind of stuff. So John's saying he's just brought this up to his mom now for no reason. Like, he always is the one who's harassing his own family. When he repeats the jokes that I said about his kid that one time, and he repeats it over and over and over again on the show, he's then harassing his own family.
Nobody has called John's kids losers on the internet more than John.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking, because it's his last show ever, he's bringing back the greatest hits.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
But he goes, I told my mom they were showing your photo, and she goes, can I sue? That didn't happen. Only that's what John would say.
Of course.
That's not what an 87-year-old woman would be like. Well, let's get a lawsuit started then. I'll make some phone calls. Doesn't make any sense. Now, props to ClayDabbler. We've been saying that a lot lately because he brings Clay on, and Clay did not approve of this phone call.
Hey, Clay.
Hey, Johnny boy, my man. What's going on, mate? Yes.
You see, I just called Shitway's dad. I'm so fucking over these guys.
Yeah. Ugly stuff, John.
Hey,
Ugly stuff.
look, they just sent people to tape me at my fucking local pub.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, at what point do they think they crossed the fucking line, Clay?
I love Clay's
Just so you know, that
reaction.
local pub is 4,000 miles from where he currently is.
True. But I love Clay's reaction right there. He goes, yeah, that was ugly stuff. And John did not like that.
Yeah.
So he has to get fired up and all worked up about it. But I know this has been said, and we all know this. Shuli did not send people to Sales Place to film John. John did. When I go out somewhere, like we go to Detroit or Nashville or Philadelphia, and we want to meet up with people before the show, I put it on social media. This is where we're going to be at this time. And then people come and meet us. This is what John did. He advertised where he was going to be on social media. It was all over Dabblers Anonymous. No one told anyone to go. They just went, oh, John's going to be there. I'll go down to that.
I was thinking about it.
If we lived closer to Sales Place,
Yeah.
could have hung out there. So he's full of shit with this. He's looking for an excuse for his awful behavior. And he's dumb.
Exactly.
So this is John explaining that he did the right thing when he called Mr. Agar.
Very
Yeah,
elderly.
don't worry.
Old
I
man.
said, you're on a recorded line. You're on a fucking air. I said it twice. So fuck off.
He didn't say
I mean,
it twice.
I don't think we shouldn't
Don't
punish
matter.
Shooty's death.
It don't
That
matter. He
for
played the
Shooty's
fucking
action.
tapes anyway that were illegally fucking recorded. Fuck you.
No. We're not getting into it. Let's not even get. Let's move along and have a great final show, John.
There you go, Clay. Smart. why are we even talking about
This is when John says you're absolutely right.
Yeah, right. yeah, what am I going on about? Good point. Get myself all worked up over here.
You're right. I am too good to call people's fathers. You're right.
ClayDabbler, all sunshine and rainbows on this day. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Clay's excited to celebrate
Yeah.
the Farewell to the King episode that they're doing. So John claims, and that's the other thing too, where he goes, well, they did something illegal, so why wouldn't I do something illegal? It's like, that kind of works in football or hockey. Like if you react to the thing that happens to you, you're the one who gets the penalty. But in law, not so much. Or else gang warfare would be litigated very differently. Oh, they're going to drive by on you guys first? Oh, well then, yeah, that's fine.
Why didn't you say so?
I didn't realize.
I thought you meant if you cross-check somebody, they get to call your parents.
They know I just came back from an injury. It's so mean.
Well, he's trying to win hearts and minds here, is what it is.
Right, yes. You understand why I'm the good guy, right? No. But keep explaining it. Now, what we're going to find out here. Now, remember, John's all fired up. He's all upset. And because they were harassing his mom, that's why he had to call Mr. Egar. And just for the record, no one cares that he called Shuli's dad. Shuli laughed about it. Everyone's laughing about it. Mr. Egar came off way better than John did in that exchange. But this is what actually happened when John told his mom about what happened. This is the real response.
I take it my mom was like, they're showing my picture?
Yeah, Silent Mike thought it was hilarious, didn't he, at the time?
And my mom's so vain, she goes, how'd I look?
Was it a good picture, I hope?
I don't know. I go, you look great, Mom. Don't worry about it. It's just...
So that she always looks beautiful.
Isn't it amazing? It just became a funny anecdote.
Yeah, that's a bizarre turn.
Yeah, just 7 minutes ago.
The writing process.
It was World War III was started just 7 minutes ago. It was Franz Ferdinand, and now all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, we laugh about it to this day. She's like, KY jelly, what's that for? I'm like, oh, Mom, you know. Don't make me say it.
You're dry. Well,
I don't use that kind of language for my mom, but you know it. The point.
I think your dry does need to be a punchline in something.
It's the name of my next album.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so
It's never not a punchline.
it's correct.
I think it's a super chatter.
It's actually a term of endearment in my home. hey, try. How's dinner coming?
Oh, you.
All right. This is John fishing for a compliment and not getting it. This is hilarious.
Like, how do I look? I just got my hair glazed.
Just do it. What, can you afford a haircut, you cheap bastard? You don't want to spring out the extra?
I don't... Look at your hair.
Okay, watch John's facial reaction when he realizes he's not getting the compliment. So first he calls him gay with the just do it for even asking him. But then watch John's face drop immediately.
Yeah.
What, can you afford a haircut, you cheap bastard? You don't want to spring out the
I
extra?
don't... Look at your hair. Do you think I'm going to take advice with that fucking...
What, my crisp fade? Come
You
on.
look like you're wearing a goddamn wig.
No, I don't, John.
It's literally a fade. How could it be a wig?
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Right.
I
Yeah.
would kill for Clay's hair.
Clay has amazing hair. I mean, we can all agree on that. So, Pat's a close second,
Why, thank you.
of course.
I have hair. I get haircuts.
You get haircuts?
Bragger.
John doesn't need them. He just lets the hair grow right over his
Brag.
ears and just tells the woman, do you imagine he went to whatever the place is, Sam's special place, or what's the name of the salon he goes?
Supercuts?
It's
Special Sam, Super Sam.
Super Sam's, yeah, something like that. And he goes in there, he's just like, no, I don't need my haircut. They're like, no, but sir, you do. It's like you bring your
Fantastic Sam's.
fantastic Sam's. It's like you bring your car in and it's 5,000 miles overdue for an oil change. You're like, no, just rotate the tires. That's all. Like, no, but sir, we really should change this oil. No, I'm good. So John's explaining why he's leaving the Dabbleverse, and once again explaining why this was his last show ever.
So, see you next year, John. Take your ball and run home. See, this is so funny, Clay. I'm not running. I'm beginning a new adventure. You know, like to me, it's become toxic. It's not, you know, when you start sending people to my pub for your content because you can't create your own, no, it's not. I didn't get into this thing to have people harass the fuck out of me.
You're
You know what I
you're embarking on a new chapter in the Stuttering John.
The fuck is that noise?
He's gonna ask those you.
All right. John is now claiming he's got his timeline off here. John announced he was leaving the Dabbleverse in early December, mid-December maybe. It was weeks.
The day I saw him in Zoom court, yes.
Right. Yes, that's correct. It was the Zoom court thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. He's leaving the Dabbleverse on the 31st. Now he's claiming that he's leaving because it's A, too toxic. He's the one calling family members. And B, because they're sending people to the pub that he's at, which happened on the 26th of December. So yeah, you already announced this, so that doesn't, you really can't factor that one in to the reason.
Reasons on top of reasons.
Yeah, I mean, like I had reasons before, but now I have even more reasons. Like, okay, sure. Yeah, I murdered my wife, and then I found out she was cheating on me on top of it. It's like, yeah, but that's not what. Okay, well, okay, fair enough. Now you heard all those blasts. That's because it's New Year's Eve and now New Year's Day, where Clay is in England, so they're shooting off fireworks. And John's like, turn those things off. I swear to God, Clay's like, what am I supposed to do? Fireworks.
The king, everyone.
Is that the TV? Do you have the TV on really loud?
Actually, at first, I thought, you know what I thought it was? I thought it was a delivery guy banging on his door.
Yeah, right. At John's house.
Yeah.
Right.
I was told to ignore the signs.
Ignore the signs and knock really, really loud. Use the battering ram if you need to. All right, so now the exciting entrance of Pat Dixon comes in. And this is what I was talking about earlier.
So there's this other guy. So it happened now twice in the last month. You got this Adam Bush guy who was on like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I got him on the Stern Show to play horns years ago.
I love that this story is completely changed now from what it was originally. Like Adam had to explain this to John, that they were doing this song with the Losers. They needed a horn section. And so Adam's from Long Island, John's from Long Island. John asked someone if he knows anyone, and that person was just like, yeah, I know these guys, and Adam was one of those guys. And now John's taking full credit. It's very similar to how he's discovered every whackpacker of all time. You know, it's just like, oh yeah, I take full credit. You answered a phone call. It was Jeff the drunk. That you had nothing to do with that. You're just calling into the show.
With our band, The Losers, right?
Yeah.
He kept thanking me over and over. Thanks, like DMing me on Facebook. John, thank you so much. It was so nice of you to do that. I'm grateful to you forever. Everything. Then he goes, I'd love to come on your show. I get him on my show, Pat. What happens? The same week he's on Shitway's show, Lady K's, trashing me.
Okay. He told you he was going to do that, and he didn't trash you, and that was months ago. But all right, carry on.
Same thing happened with this fucking Nasty Neil. They all come on. They all can't wait to kiss the ring of the Duke. Then what happens, Pat? Then they're on every other show trashing me.
Now what happens? You call their dads. Call all their fucking dads.
Well said, Pat. So Nasty Neil was this other guy who was on John's show and Rob Saul's show and stuff like that. And then he was on Point Dabble Point. And I was on with him. I don't remember him. And Card, if you were there, was Nasty Neil trashing John?
Relentlessly.
Okay, I guess we all were, right? Who can remember what was going on? But that's all it takes. So, Pat, when John comes back, hopefully he'll let you back on the show again.
I'm not real concerned about it. I mean, like, if it happens, it happens. Whatever, we'll see. I mean, like, my thing, I get along with John fine so far. You know what I mean? And let me ask you something. If he would have asked you to do his New Year's Eve show, would you have dropped by for half an hour?
Of course I would have.
So
I would do John's show anytime. We've done shows together, and I've had a great time doing it. I would do it again.
That's kind of what I figured, is that like it's other people do it, so I have no reason not to do it.
I know a little bit more about John, so I would have challenged him on a few things, but still, I would have done the show.
Yeah, I'm not a student of John.
Correct. Yes.
So I was going in unarmed a little bit, but
you're along for the ride.
That's probably why we get along, is because I'm not as steeped, in the John lore.
That's actually a perfect scenario for getting along with John, is believing all of his bullshit or just not knowing and just going like, oh, okay, Adam Bush is an asshole. All right, yeah, sure.
Right.
I did love Pat's caveat there. Very casual, though. I have no problems with John for now.
Well, yeah, because he knows.
Just knows it's coming. Wait for it.
I don't want to sound naive.
Right. All right, so this is so now you brought up here, yeah, you're gonna call everyone's dad, which is a very funny line because that really is how John deals with his problems for some reason, even though it never fixes anything. And so this is Clay making some sense right here.
Well, I just said, can you just tell this fucking idiot to stop the harassment?
Yeah, that'll work.
Well, yeah, but he goes, why are you calling me? I go, you're his father.
Well, he's a 50-year-old man. Shit, wow.
Yeah, I know, but he's fucking obviously a high school dropout. You think he's smart in any way, Clay?
What does that have to do with anything? So Clay's like, yeah, he's a 50-year-old man. Like, why are you calling his dad? It's like, well, he was a high school dropout. Oh, so he must probably still live with his dad, and his dad's still giving him guidance on how to live his life. Is that what happens?
I'm going to move the goalposts over here now.
Yeah,
What do you think of that?
Yes. Producer Chris, you revealed that you dropped out of high school.
Yeah.
Are you able to live without your father still taking care of you?
I have found a way.
Wow. So it does happen. All right. Good to know.
I mean, what did he expect? I mean, like from his dad, he's like, last I heard, he was weighing shit.
Right. It's like, yeah, we already know the Shuli's a lost cause, John. What am I going to do? I did my best for 18 years, and then I did my time. Your turn. Now, this is great. And I apologize, Pat, because I know it can be tough to watch yourself and react to yourself. I do it from time to time. We're going to do it in a minute coming up. But John decides, all right, let's recreate this phone call. He's going to do a little improv exercise with you.
God, yeah, this is horrible.
And it's not your fault.
Oh, God, this is the worst.
It's not your fault. John's impossible to work with in this type of scenario, but he's going to try to do a recreation of this phone call, and he really does not know how to do improv at all.
I forgot about that.
Pat, go ahead. Let's recreate that phone call. Okay. Dad?
Hello.
Hey, Dad, why are you calling me? We haven't talked in 10 years.
Surely. I am concerned about the phone call I got from John Melendez. He says you want to fuck his mother?
He told you that?
Yes, he did. He told me many things.
Well, Dad, I'm trying to do a show. I gotta make a living to feed my kids, and this guy is way more talented and way funnier than me. What else am I gonna do? You told me.
Whenever he's doing this, he does it with Chad Zubak too. Whenever he's doing a recreation of how they would talk, he always does this. Yeah, but I'm a loser, and this guy's so cool, and I just want to be just like him, but I suck so bad. Like he thinks that's what Chad and Shuli are saying behind the scenes.
They suddenly have this like crazy self-awareness, and just like John's.
But you have to understand, I'm just jealous of him. But look at how bad his improv skills are right here.
I mean, what else am I gonna do? You told me to listen to to my brother. I should do something, something that means something.
But surely you've always been a winner. I'm sure you'll make the right decision.
No, his dad wouldn't say that.
So that's my favorite thing. My favorite thing about improv is when you go, no, you did that wrong. Let's back it up. Let's try this again.
Yeah, I guess I got the idea we weren't playing as hyper realistic.
Yes. Yeah, I love the shoe he says. I was like, all right, well, whatever. Try to do better. And John's like, no, that's not what he would say. He'd say you're in a lot of trouble. Well, let me do both parts. I'll show you how this goes down.
Just get his dad back on the phone.
That's right, yeah. Who is this imposter I'm talking to? Obviously not Mr. Egar. I can tell that. Welcome back, Doug.
Hey.
All right.
Family shit.
No, no
I'll be
worries,
right-
buddy.
You know.
No worries at
Okay,
all.
cool.
All right, so this is
Someone trashing your kids.
That's right. I had to make a phone call to one of your mothers.
oh shit. Is that why she's texting me? So this is again, Pat doesn't know what's going on. He only knows about what's happening from John, so he assumes that Shuli is up to no good.
But who's gonna miss you the most?
I know.
Julie doesn't want you to leave.
No.
Maybe that's why he's doing this last ditch effort to keep you in,
Oh, why? What is he doing?
Well, I assumed he must have done something if you called his dad today.
Oh, I was waiting. I figured, let me give him a little surprise for my way out.
I love that. I love how naive you are on this. You're like, yeah, Shuli must have done something really shitty because you called his dad and said he's it's fucked up what he's doing. And John's like, oh, no, he did that like 8 months ago. I just let him know now. Like, what's
Been on my list.
wow, that's crazy. Okay. Pretty funny. All right, so now we get into talk about your ex-girlfriend. And so I'll give a little bit of the backstory here. We can discuss it. We talked about it on This Little Piggy yesterday, and I have Kevin Brennan reacting to that. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in that segment. But basically, it's pronounced Felicia, right? Felicia.
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
Okay. Basically, John asks, because Felicia's been on MLC. She goes on these other shows, and her and Pat used to date. And so John asks if they're still in contact with each other. And so Pat is answering that question.
Yeah, she said like, "Oh, we can make it happen. We can get together or something." You know, I mean, like, these are super tips that she sent me, that she paid to send me. Like, you know, that's what it's escalated to now. But I haven't spoken to her, and she's emailed. I didn't reply.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. What did she say?
He's not even listening. He asked you about her. You go, oh, okay. So here's what's going on. She's been sending me these emails. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, uh-huh. Oh, I'm sorry. I totally was just reading something else. I asked a question that just spaced out of my own show. What did you say? So that's always embarrassing. So then he follows up with this, and it gets even worse.
What now? Would I go back?
Yeah.
No. That's my whole point. I mean, I told her what I said on a stream. I didn't tell her per se, but I said it to when I think I had Rocco on.
Hold on. Just hold on a second. I'm sorry. You guys continue. I have a fucking big oak tag sign. Do not knock.
Oh. The thing is, they don't like us talking through this bit, Pat.
So John gets up because he hears the door. In the middle of you explaining again his follow-up question about, would you guys get back together or whatever, take her back? And then he's like, all right, finish up that answer with Clay, who didn't ask and probably doesn't care. I'm going to go grab this thing that I'm getting delivered to my house. Now, the beauty of
did Clay say they don't like us talking during
yes,
this? Like the
Clay
audience needs John to be there?
No, Clay has learned something that when we clip this show, when John gets up and goes to the door, I like to crank the volume and play the clip so we can hear the conversations he's having with the driver.
Oh.
And if Clay's talking over it, it fucks it all up. So at this point, Pat starts playing the piano and shit. Clay's like, no. We got to be quiet so they can hear the conversation. So the beauty of this is that it was fireworks outside John's house that he heard and thought it was a knock at the door. So he gets up. There's no one there. He comes back and he yells something like, I put up the sign, get out of here. And he's like, just joking, whatever. But check this out. This is some inside information that I got from VTM, who sends John deliveries. So he sent Kyle over to John's house recently with a delivery. And Kyle is ready to deliver, and he gives his feedback when he meets up with John. He says he was very nasty. A message from the courier of Uber Eats. So John was very nasty to this guy who delivered it. And then this goes against Vince. A message from Uber. It says, Dear Vincent, one of your delivery persons mentioned feeling uncomfortable with a conversation during your delivery. We're sharing this feedback with you because we want everyone to feel safe and comfortable while using the app. Our community guidelines don't allow disrespectful language. We encourage you to keep your conversations casual and friendly.
Wow.
As a reminder, not following any of our guidelines may lead to losing access to your Uber account. Similarly, if a driver does anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, report that back as well. So what did John say?
I don't know.
Nicolas Cage.
What did John say to this guy?
Funny, none of the Ukrainian ladies have ever complained about it, but Kyle, for some reason, John didn't like something about Kyle. I don't know what it is.
Look at that.
John was probably insisting that he was Irish, something like that.
You from Cuba?
Your first name Zig?
Of course, what's really happening here is that John doesn't want people delivering food to his house because that's what Vince does to fuck with them. But John takes it out on the delivery person. As if they have anything to do with this. Like, how did you not know that this guy was sending you to my house?
Because he did warn them at the beginning of the show.
That's right. He did. John, they should be watching. Everyone who works for Uber should be watching his show.
Yeah.
So that they know that.
Well, he is the point of contact. So he can yell at Vince or he can yell at Kyle. Same result.
It really, it really is. the person who beats up the customer service rep. We've seen John do that on the phone with Spectrum, and you imagine in every store that he's in where he feels like he's being wronged, he's yelling at a cashier who's just like, yeah, I work 3 days a week here. I don't have any pull. I don't know what you want from me. So this is, he's talking now about VTM because, the question comes up about this money that is owed to Vince per their agreement to get out of the $12.5 million lawsuit.
Well,
What about the money? What are you going to do? Don't you owe him?
Well, that's the great part. See, hey, so I only have so now, like, this is my last show, right? So as you know, like, so I'll get paid on the 21st for this past month, right? So, that'll be it. So that'll be his last big, like, pay. Then I'll be gone, and then he gets nothing. You get nothing. Good day, sir. I said good day.
So he's just he can only garnish your money. He's not entitled to any money outside that.
No.
So what John is doing here, and thanks a lot, Vince. Thanks for running John off the internet, retard. So John owes Vince a percentage of his YouTube income, his earnings, going back to October. And John didn't pay him in October, he didn't pay him in November. And Vince is just like, well, I'm not just letting you not pay those months. We'll just push it I'll be nice enough to push it forward into the coming months. So John goes, okay, well then I'll just get off the internet and then I don't have to pay him at all. And he thinks that gets him out of this obligation that he has. So he paid him December 26th, like they agreed to. And I guess he's going to pay him in January. And then John's not going to make any money and he won't pay Vince anymore. And he thinks that gets him out of this agreement they had. I don't think it does. I think it's a breach.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way.
I don't think it does at all. And what happens next is Pat says the funniest thing you could possibly say without knowing it's the funniest thing you could possibly say.
There's only, I can't disclose the details according to Vince, but there's only a certain amount of time where I'll get anything.
That probably works with child support too.
What do you mean?
Like you could just quit your job and be like, garnish nothing, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Mike B is a great guy.
Bravo, Pat.
Wow.
Bravo. So of course you don't know this, but when John lost his job at the Tonight Show, he stopped paying child support for 8 months, and his ex-wife had to serve him to get him to pay that back, the money that he just stopped paying. So it's like, I don't have any money, so nobody's coming in, so nobody goes to my kids.
Oh no! What have I said?
I love that. I love that you said that at the very end of that clip. You're going to hear Clay. It's not easy to hear, but he says accurate reference after he said that.
Exactly. Mike B is a great guy.
It's actually very accurate reference. It's perfect. And you saw John get nervous for a second. He's like, what do you mean by that? And then it's like, Pat doesn't know the backstory. So it's like, we're just having fun. All right, good. But that was amazing.
Well, every once in a while, the broken clock is right. That's what they say twice a day.
It was perfect right there. I give you mad props on that. So this guy, Mike V, is super chatting him. Mike V is a guy that none of us have ever talked to. We don't know what he sounds like. He's just a guy who super chats John. But John does a Mike V impression that he's going to do for us.
Hang on, too.
I suppose. Maybe. Who knows?
And Mike, I hope imitation is
Yeah,
is the most sincere form of
Flarity. You got it.
Yeah. Flattery.
Like there Pat goes, dabblery. But yeah, John couldn't get that out. And then that leads into the history of the dabbleverse.
Dabblery.
Yeah. Flattery.
But did you ever used to retaliate to Cole covering your show, or did you start, because obviously the Dabbleverse evolved from you retaliating from them watching you going back and forth, because if you didn't go back and forth, there wouldn't really be much of a Dabbleverse, I'd say.
Did he ever retaliate to us goofing on him, producer Chris? You remember these old days?
Yes.
I believe he threatened to break my legs.
That was the first one.
And then that was followed up with a lawsuit. And then he was going to take my house.
Still coming down the pike.
Yeah, he was looking up how much my house was worth and talking about how he was going to live in it.
He
Carl,
tried
he was
going after
looking
me.
He was looking how much your house was worth in a boxing ring. In a boxing ring.
YouTube's terms of service. It's amazing the things that he forgets about the beginning of the dabbleverse. He likes to pretend it's all Chrissy Mayer, but it's very little Chrissy Mayer.
There was a reason we all gathered around this goof in Rochester and took his side.
Well, the other thing, too, that John doesn't understand is that, yes, did he respond to us and did we have a little bit of a back and forth, but not a ton. For a long time, he was doing his political show. He was doing his beer on the balcony, interviewing people. He wasn't doing this dabbleverse show that he's done ever since he came back to the internet.
No, he wouldn't acknowledge. He wouldn't say anyone by name or anything.
And we still goofed on him because he's so easy to clown.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same thing with Opie. Opie's never really acknowledged us, a couple times here and there, but he's never done a show about us or anything like that. But we've continued to clown him because he's just so mockable.
Yes.
He just sucks at what he does. And so the dabbleverse would exist with or without John threatening to break my legs.
It just wouldn't be called that.
Well, it probably would be called the dabbleverse because of the Chrissy Mayer interview, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it has as much to do with John as John thinks it does, is my point. It's not because of John's actions outside of his being a terrible broadcaster,
Right,
and the worst podcaster in the history of podcasting.
Well, you pointed out long ago, the worst thing you can do to John is embarrass him, and he couldn't get any of us to shut up, and it was
Right.
just getting bigger, and it became clear that it wasn't going away.
Yes.
And in spite of people like Monique and Chrissy and all of us say, lean into it.
Yep.
Have fun with it, you
Right.
dummy.
Yep.
He continued to battle and then finally embraced it and said,
But it was still
I
a
want
battle.
some of this money too.
Right, but it's still always been a battle, though.
Right. Correct. He's still battling to the end.
But you know what? Give him credit. He's playing his part to the hilt.
Yes.
He's a
No,
king.
Yeah.
there's a reason why this is so addictive for people.
Yeah. He gives and gives and gives. And I think he does lean into it. You know, I mean, like, obviously, like when he's yelling at his mom about the KY jelly, you know, and his face is red and shit. You know,
Yeah.
He knows he's being funny.
Well, no, I know. But he also is trying to get across this thing where he's like really livid and angry, and because he's always threatening to fight people. But yeah, Pat, you're still in the John's playing a character thing, which we all go through. It's fun. It's a fun world to live in. We all go through this thing. It's like, John's smarter than this.
Yeah.
He's just playing a character.
He's giving him the benefit of the doubt.
You don't think it's 100% serious?
I think it's 11% serious.
I think he's 100% stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But John's doing the best thing for John. Like, Opie doesn't have to do this. Opie has his millions of dollars in his penthouse, his multiple homes. Like, he doesn't need to do this. So I'm not saying John is smart for doing it, but it's the only way that he can have any sort of income. And I guess he realizes that at least.
well, we'll see.
I mean,
he's got a
although
new gig.
He just left the internet.
He just left. He's moving on to other things.
Right.
I just have one more clip on here. We're about 50 minutes in. This is a 5-hour show. So we'll be looking at
Holy
more parts
shit.
of this going into the future. I just wanted to cover the first
Oh my
part here.
God.
And I appreciate Pat for coming on because you ask if, we ask how dumb is John? John asks a question here where I think that Pat was thrown off a little bit because he's like, well, he can't. This must be like a trick question or something.
Where the fuck is Boise State, by the way?
Iowa,
Is that where?
Iowa, Idaho, Boise, Idaho, rather. Yeah, Idaho.
Where the fuck is Boise State?
This is great.
It's in the name. That's helpful.
Gee.
Just fly over and you look for a blue field, and there you go. You're there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boise's not even a state.
Right. John was trying to get into some college football talk, and Clay
wow.
is over in England, and Pat's just like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm not on the edge of my seat waiting for that Boise State.
Right. Yeah. You weren't too concerned about it.
He's only aware of schools that he pretends to have graduated from.
You're saying you didn't graduate from NYU?
I'm not saying that.
Oh,
Someone
I am.
someone texted me and said that.
I will say that right now.
Who are these podcasts? WAT